let that gap be there without filling it in. Dan, I don't know if you saw this. You probably did on the Conspiracy Central. Look, I love Mike Waltz. He's a hero and all that. But I have not seen it anywhere else. He claimed that the 20-year-old shooter had 3 encrypted bank accounts overseas.
Just accounts is what I've heard. I didn't hear bank accounts. I just heard 3 encrypted accounts.
Right.
And what bothers me about that statement, Dom, and as a conspiracy theorist myself, I feel like that just confuzzles things, if anything. Because if you think about it, WhatsApp is an encrypted account. Coinbase, when you trade, cryptocurrency, a lot of times it's done for it's
encrypted.
It's an encrypted account. So I don't know. Like me myself, I think I have 2. So.
Well, I would say this. When you hear encrypted is not necessarily the dark web or whatever. Some things could be encrypted that are relatively, as you just said, every day. So for Waltz to be going off and saying that, and I haven't seen it emphasized anywhere else, it gets us into, the Iranians and this kid from Butler, Pennsylvania. Come on. So I understand the urgency, and I don't get it why we can't urgently move forward with this Secret Service person. Why today? Well, we just got after the convention. My God. This is a matter of life and death here. And it's a matter of, stopping this idea, at least to me. Oh, they wanted to kill him. So this was a blatant attempt to do that. Now, what's the line here between, well, we're not going to give Trump the best and a blatant plot to take him out? That's why this testimony on Monday's got to go on thoroughly forever. I mean, this is must-see TV more than most of these testimonies to me. Now, if she starts taking the Fifth Amendment or whatever, I don't anticipate that. The FBI should not be the investigators. I've heard that, and I agree with it. But then the thing is, who is it that's going to investigate this then? What do we do when the FBI is both ineffectual and complicit in a lot of things? Then who should investigate it? I mean, where does it lead? Aha. Not to say that this is a trade out that works, but Brian Cutler may be on today because of the backup and all he's landing, he's flying. He is the Republican leader. They're calling for a select committee, bipartisan, 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans. Since this happened in Pennsylvania, it involves state and local police to do their own investigation and get to the bottom of it. Of course, the pace in Harrisburg is beyond glacial. Yeah, they ought to be involved because they may turn something up on the local state police side of who knew what and what was told and all that. But the more that you see this, even though we see now with the whistleblowers in Hawley and the fact that they didn't use canines, they didn't use them properly, things of that nature, even with all that, it still seems to me massively, this is screw up, plus not even the B team was in there. How do you make that decision to do that? And I hope we get to the bottom of, with this woman saying, are you kidding me? If you don't have the resources here, you got to tell more people in government something has to be done, and you personally should have been there directing it then. In other words, you got to compensate for this. This guy is the biggest player. It's not Dr. Jill Biden we have to worry. She deserves protection, but that's not what we have to worry about. It's someone like Trump. Because of the polarity here, because of the hatred that's sometimes spewed, because they're saying he's Hitler. Are you not cognizant of all that? And the more you let this go on, the more conspiracy theories will continue. So Mike Waltz, talking about encrypted accounts. I'm glad Dan made a good point on that that's not as nefarious as it seems. Somebody ought to trace that, get on top of it. If you want to think this guy's some either mastermind or somebody they found and coached, go right ahead. I think when you hear this testimony, you're going to see what screwing up is on Monday. So, a couple of things. Politico actually printed out the entire transcript of the Trump speech when he talked about being shot. That's how powerful that was. And again, it was vulnerable. It was detailed. it brought home with the people there and hopefully with the people at home, my God, just think of how close this was. And no matter what bravado you have, it's still incredible to survive that and to go through that. All right. Pennsylvania, the Project 2025. We're going to be talking with somebody from the Heritage Foundation. They created it. I have the Biden-Harris talking points for today, and among the first things they sent out this morning, in the swing states, they're trying to tag J.D. Vance as like a mastermind, somebody completely in sync with Project 25. So a little bit later in the show, you're going to hear exactly from the authors at the somebody at the Heritage Foundation, exactly what is the point of Project 2025? How does it deal with the deep state? There's a lot in there about having ready to go people that you could trust to put into all these bureaucracies. That's one part. But there are a lot of reforms that they call for that are very doable that the other side says would be a takeover of the country. Now, they wouldn't be. They would just be executive authority. But I'm kind of surprised. We know they have abortion. We know they're going to talk about stealing democracy. But they're trying to use Project 2025 as a trump card here, as a major thing. I don't think people know about it enough yet. But they don't want them to know about it. They just want to say, one thing I've heard, they're going to take away overtime. Project 2025, Trump's going to take away being able to get paid overtime.
Evil!
They're going to take away school lunches for kids. This is the type of stuff.
I think I have a sound effect there.
They're putting out there. So that was a high point last night. I just wish Trump would stop it with the length and the whole thing. Remember,
what's the name of the project?
Project 25. There you go. That's right. Taking away school lunches and overtime. Well, we couldn't afford that. They wouldn't let me work overtime, and you don't have any school lunch, so get off the school now. Project 25. Yeah, it's stunning. Yeah, it's just stunning. Is this all they have, Project 25, to go after? All right. Project 2025, right. So as we continue, I'll play you a little bit from last night, but that was the major thing, the speech. Of course, Hulk Hogan, I thought was very good. He had enough fodder to continue the whole thing. Kid Rock, not so good. I'll save that for Dan here in a moment.
Oy.
I don't think, unless I missed it, I didn't see 50 Cent, so I don't know why that fell through. We thought that was going to happen. And Elon Musk, I don't remember too much. The highlight of the convention, both the right thing and the politically right thing, were the Gold Star families. They really made an impact. And that's what we hope to do, to have that sort of spirit and connection that you'll get when we bring Don Jr. to town on July 30th. And people are really responding to this. I put up on my Twitter at DomShow1210 just a little bit about the book, Letters to Trump. These are unbelievably the most famous people in the world and how they were on a first-name basis. They liked each other, Trump and somebody like Oprah, who doesn't talk to him now, until Trump decided to run. The letters are incredible. It's a coffee table thing, too. It's a big book. And you can refer to it and say, here, when people say to you, well, Trump, and they have this distorted view of him, why was this Trump? Why were Hillary Clinton buddies with them? Why Oprah? Why all these people? Well, that's because he ran, and then suddenly he's persona non grata. So you get your tickets. Go to Talk Radio 1210. Go to 1210 WPHT.com. 1210 WPHT.com.
Dom, can I point out something real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. So you had me pull this clip, and it's just one quick little second here, and here's Van Jones, and he said something here.
The last time I was in a convention that felt like this was Obama 2008. Yeah.
He says Obama 2008, but even he recognizes, Dom, just the camaraderie that was felt this entire week, the patriotism that just effused out of Milwaukee. And I think that's largely because of what the Trump family has built. And you really get that whenever you go to a Trump rally, whenever you go to something like this. And I honestly cannot wait because it is such a patriotic environment that is so rare to find in this day and age. And I hope that Trump, when he gets elected moving forward, we return, that patriotism becomes cool again and we start seeing more and more of it, you know?
Exactly. So, by the way, Van Jones, I think, was arguably the best commentator. I know you're not supposed to say that in this whole thing. The reason is, as much as he's an ideologue on the left, just stop thinking about that for a moment. He's the one that made the point about Amber Rose, how dangerous he is. Dangerous to the Democrat Party. Dangerous to breaking that down. He just made the point that this convention had the excitement, the unification, and the fun of Obama running the first time around, if you remember back to that one. That's the point he was making. So I thought Van Jones made arguably things that were interesting versus a lot of the commentary. Wow, just put the repeat button on there. Even though he's on the other side, repeatedly talking about how dangerous this convention is for Democrats. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Let me give you the side question. It was a land of cheese this week. I'm sure they're glad to get out of Wisconsin. So we want to know something that is cheesy, someone or something that is cheesy. I don't have a someone here, but I'm going to say, when I thought about this, no matter how good you are at this, I'd have to say pickup lines are among the cheesiest things I can think of. Cheesiest.
Oh,
imaginable.
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a really. Have you ever heard a good one that's not cheesy?
No, it's
or
impossible.
any that's not cheesy? Yeah.
No. And the number one of all time, you must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day long.
Ooh, I like that one.
God, yeah, write that down.
That's not bad, actually.
Write that one down at home. My
Don,
God.
you're a classy guy.
There you go. I just help out here. All right, so pickup lines is
Did
my
I hear when you fell from
contribution.
heaven?
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yes, that's similar to that.
Oh, my
That's a
gosh.
cousin to
Yeah.
that. Yes.
How about a person, Dom? The
Go ahead.
corniest person on all the television. I think the audience would agree. Especially every New Year's Eve, we are reminded of this. Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper.
He is so corny.
And the buddy. Oh, God.
Andy Cohen?
Yeah,
Andy Cohen's like, I think he
obnoxious.
embraces the corniness, though. Whereas
Oh, my
Anderson
God.
Cooper tries to
Yeah.
shy away from it and just makes himself even more corny.
And I thought you were going to go with
I am
Kid Rock.
100% going to go with Kid Rock. That
Yeah.
performance last night,
Oh,
Dom, from the
God,
time he
yes.
started with the fight, it was
Oh, man.
incredibly corny, and it seemed so out of place.
It did.
It
yeah.
really did. Yeah.
Hulk was much better. Less is more, that kind of thing.
Like,
I think it
even
was good.
Hulk felt mildly out of place.
Right.
Because, I was getting texts from people on the left, people from the center saying, what is this circus going on when we got Hulk? But then once Kid Rock and the Kid Rock performance really set people off as, what is this corniness? It made conservatives look like tryhards, and I don't like that. Because I think conservatism is cool on its own, and you don't need to.
I thought Hulk Hogan was fine. I thought he played it well. He just
No, I
didn't
think Hulk was
act
good.
it.
I think
Yeah.
Hulk was. I'm saying Kid Rock though. I think
Oh,
Kid
yeah.
Rock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
exactly.
made
Yeah.
the RNC look corny for a couple minutes there.
All right, 855-839-1210. That's what we're looking for. Think deep and hard on that, and give me your reaction. The entire convention now, and again, there were very limited. Maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene is about the only one I can think of people who went off and gives the media what they want. Most people did not do that. They talked unification. They talked policy. They did those kinds of things. That's exactly what you want coming out of it. And Trump was quarterbacking that. All right, AT&T, Verizon Wireless, just push pound 1210 at 12:30. We'll talk with the Montgomery County Commissioner, the Republican. There's a lot to update you on the battle right there to make sure we have election voter integrity. That's got to be the other thing here. We want people to see that people are on this and how to do this, because that guy the ice cream truck guy over there that's the lead commissioner, I think the guy wants to put a drop box on every street corner in Montgomery County. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board on Talk Radio 1210.
Get ready for huge politics and pints as Talk Radio 1210 welcomes Donald Trump Jr. It's Tuesday, July 30th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Join Dom Giordano and Donald Trump Jr. as they talk the election, recent events, and all things Trump. Your ticket includes a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Hey, Bureaucracy. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Remember to take us anywhere with the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Hit us. Something coming. Landed cheese. Come on, we had to do cheesy this week. Cheesy/corny. You can mix it up a little bit from Wisconsin. And as I said, the ongoing story, and thank God it's going to be Monday. The testimony starts. I'm not sure if it'll be 10 a.m. That's what it ought to be. And again, we'll watch the Democrats try to circle the wagons. Why are they circling the wagons? Why don't they want to get to the bottom of what happened here? Don't they realize anytime you do this, all you're going to do is provoke more security, more conspiracy. And the Trump people, Trump, etc., other than J.D. Vance, who said that a causal element here is when you make him Hitler, you can expect something like this. Now, getting inside the deranged mind of this 20-year-old, impossible, but that is the difference. It's not the usual, even if it's something, you think over the top. The most over the top is to say and mean, this is Hitler. You will not have your country if he's elected, ultimately. There's only one solution to that, then, in the minds of a lot of these people. That's much different. Now, the Inquirer...
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House.
Who is that? That's
Joy Reid.
Oh, it is Joy. Yeah, that's Joy Reid doing the down-home accent or playing, but that's right, Joy Reid. And Joy Reid was the worst commentator. I think Van Jones was among the best. Despite the ideology, it doesn't matter. He was like John the Baptist telling the Democrats, take a look at this. People like Amber Rose, people like this convention, the spirit, he likened it to 2008 with Obama. That's exactly on point. That's what came out of this. And now there will be added thrust because now people who should do this rather than Trump are going to be attacking. And there's a bit of subtlety required here. They can make the point. We want to know why you gave Trump the second team here, or almost no team at all, to prevent this. You don't have to go conspiracy and all that stuff, but what you have to say is they were not fully protecting someone who is the big player here, has a lot more threats, a lot more possibility of that than even the president, certainly the first lady. And again, if you don't have enough resources because of all these things you're doing, then why are you not doing that rather than worried about having 30% of the Secret Service be women? This is supposed to be an American ideal. We've been saying that all this week. So I can hardly wait to see this woman in the docket. And I just wish for once they said, you know what? This is so important. We're not going to do 5 minutes. They run out the clock, and then we're on to the next person, and they point of order here, and all that nonsense. You know, let the two sides divide up their time or something and give. I just would like to hear a straight half hour of questioning, because I believe if you're questioned straight for a half hour without all these interruptions, we're going to get to the bottom of things much quicker. And remember, they have to keep scrupulous records. So we're going to see exactly, was that scene, the building, as a problem? And if so, first question I would ask, the biggest thing from this show this week, Sean Parnell brought it up first, but others have. If you think you don't have enough people there, why don't you use things to block that roof so that a shooter, in case, in the wildest circumstance, would not have a clear line of sight? Why didn't you do that? Isn't that apparently part of their protocol? Why not do that? And it's, to me, firing this woman, yeah, that's accountability. It's just more getting to the bottom of this and seeing how far this goes. How many times did they do this on Trump detail? And just the sheer enormity of the consequence of what could have happened here. All right, let's go to Mark in the Northeast. Mark on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, so I want to answer the question first. So I want to do a Biden. I want to do 1, 2. So I got a couple of them. So the cheesy thing I want to add on is the Kid Rock, the people in the audience trying to dance.
Yes,
It made me cringe more than listening to Kid Rock. Oh my God, that
that's
was
what it was
horrible.
for me too. Yeah.
Well, there were a couple
horrible.
guys, particularly Dan, that I saw. Oh, they look maniacal at the same time. They can't dance. What are you doing it for? They get caught up in the craziness of it. Yeah.
Just staying still. You don't have to dance. Just staying still. But so another thing, that building that was blatant. Like it was like right in range of Trump. Like, I don't understand how they left that open. But another question, like, I don't know if you guys saw the video of the Secret Service that was covering Trump, but, like, they showed from behind the one guy, like, pushing the people, like, towards the other side of the stage. and then like right before the shots went off. Like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did see it. But, I mean, all these things that look out of kilter, that's why we have to establish. Look, there's paperwork on this. There's a detail before, during, and afterward. That will come up. We'll get to the bottom of it. And, Mark, the break this morning that we're on top of is the fact that Pennsylvania wants to have its own select committee. I agree with that because Pennsylvania state lawmakers, law and state cops are involved here, and we want to get to the bottom of it with that angle. And if Democrats in Pennsylvania refuse to do this, well, that's good politically. This is the ultimate swing state. What are they hiding? Why don't they want to take a look at this?
Can I say something else?
Sure.
So I'm middle right. So I really enjoyed. I like listening to Trump because I think he's like really funny and serious. He's a really good speaker, a showman. But I don't think we're voting, and I think a lot of people. We're not voting for a president anymore. We're not. I mean, Biden's totally out of it. Like, I voted for both. I voted for Trump, and then I voted for Biden. But I don't think people are really worried about voting for the person anymore. I think now, because we don't have a left and a right, we have extremes. We got the AOCs, and then all those people on the left, and then we got the Taylor Greens, and then the Boberts on the right. So I think that's what's making people worried. It's not so much like Trump; it's like the people on the right, like the whack jobs on the right and whack jobs on the left.
Well, that's why. That's why, if you notice, at that point, Trump and the Trump people controlled it. The only wacko that got to speak was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Usually at a convention,
like she drives me nuts.
Yeah. Usually at a convention, you get it wilder. So we got you for that, Mark. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Watching Republicans dance there, pretty good one. All right, Hawley. I'd love to get him on, Dan, with these whistleblowers. Only 7. The Butler PD says only 7 local officers assigned to the rally. Now, with the Secret Service not having enough people, then you throw only 7 local officers into that? Well, of course, where are you probably not going to do enough on the perimeter? But this has to be on Monday. None of this stuff of your 5 minutes are up and point of order, and I want to do that. It just for once, stop with the time limits. If you got something else to do and you don't want to be there on this, sayonara. Go do whatever else. You don't want to sit there for we're waiting, I don't have the time for this. This ought to be like a 15-hour and 15-hour the next day. My experience, I've found the only way you get to the truth is going over it again and again and again and breaking this down with the head of the Secret Service. And I want to know, who was the head on the scene? That's the person you really want to talk with. The good thing with this, there's tension here. The local police are not going to accept the Secret Service trying to blame them as Keystone Cops or something. And I think that's what the Pennsylvania investigation is about. Hopefully we'll get to Cutler today, and you'll hear that. Coming up, we're going to talk with the Republican Montgomery County Commissioner. He contacted us because a lot's gone on there that has to be prevented, I believe, in order to have faith in election integrity in Montgomery County. The guy there is a star, the Democrat that heads it, on all the stuff that were shenanigans the last time around. He's been invited to the White House to coach them up. The ice cream truck guy. All right, so we'll get to that. And your calls. Jump in, 855-839-1210.
By registering for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event, you'll see real statements from Crash Proof Retirement clients documenting how the exclusive Crash Proof Retirement system credits double-digit interest returns, even during the worst of recent stock market downturns.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. During COVID, when everything was going down in the stock market, we saw our investment with Crash Proof grow 15%, which was unheard of. Markets weren't growing that way. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. We don't lose anything. We keep every penny that we invested. The worst that's going to happen is you keep your money. Crash Proof gives me great peace of mind. And I would recommend anybody who sees this or hears this to give Crash Proof a call. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608. 800-505-1608.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
A comfortable air mass is in place as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today, warm but not humid, high 87. Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable, low near 70. And Saturday, partly sunny, a little bit more humid. Could be a shower in some spots in the afternoon with a high 85.
Summer's a great time to brighten up the window treatments in your home. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no-questions-asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. By the way, Dan, you're not alone. If you just look at Google, maybe, CNN, they focused in on Melania Trump's reaction to Kid Rock. Oh, my God. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She wasn't faking it. She was looking like, oh, my God, I got to sit through this. Yeah. Okay. We are, in Pennsylvania, particularly concerned. You know, the last time around, it was the epicenter of a lot of issues, and they weren't wild things. They were things right in front of us, the infrastructure of the election. And Montgomery County's got a guy who's actually gone to the White House kind of as a coach because of all the innovative things he's done to make sure that people could vote, including saying he would take Montgomery County vehicles and come to your house. You don't have to go in if you mess up your mail-in ballot to cure it. Somehow or another, I made it into an ice cream truck at that point. And it's out there in Montgomery County, you know, Rocky Road, whatever he's going to get. What ice cream will he be bringing you? So the Republican contacted us, Republican Commissioner Tom DeBello, because there are a lot of things in the last meeting and coming up that he wanted you to know about, including blocking cell phone signals, Dan, and just the number of drop boxes this guy's proposing in Montgomery County. Let's go to Montgomery County Commissioner, Republican, Tom DeBello. Tom's with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tom, welcome back.
Well, great. Thanks for having me back on your show. Probably a lot to cover since I've been on last time. But, you know, the first thing that you mentioned was exactly that about yesterday. I voted no. but it was go out for proposals to provide vehicles to go around Montgomery County, register voters, do ballot harvesting. If people send in mail-in ballots that are inaccurate, I mean, we have a whole infrastructure where we contact the voter and tell them that there's been an issue with your ballot and you got to come in and fix it or whatever. But his whole idea is not to worry. We're going to drive to your house, and we're also going to use this to do voter registration and so on and so on. And I actually used the concept of the ice cream truck voter services vehicle that we're going to be sending around Montgomery County. Of course, I voted no to proceed forward.
Well, thank you. I want to, Dan, get that official transcript. I want to see that in the record. We made it into Montgomery County. So, also, this guy is Mr. Dropbox. How many drop boxes are potentially proposed for Montgomery County?
Well, that was the other thing that I voted no on. The actual line item was all encapsulated of Dropbox maintenance and so on, and new Dropbox covers, and then it was also in there as additional Dropboxes. So there's not a number proposed as of yet, but we already have 12 throughout Montgomery County, and the idea is that instead of us moving a direction like a lot of counties in Pennsylvania that are removing their Dropboxes, they're looking at potentially of adding more. And it could be another 12 plus drop boxes around Montgomery County, which I think is totally ridiculous. So I asked, well, if we're going to do this logistical study, I'd also like to get a map of where are the 600 mailboxes that are already in Montgomery County that are also used to send your ballot back. With the additional drop boxes. In the primary, I'm not sure if you knew or not, but
hey, Tom, you broke up there a little bit. Can you say that again? Additional drop boxes in the primary. What were you saying?
Sounds like we lost him.
Yeah.
Back.
Okay. All right. 855-839-1210 will get you on board. And there's also a debate there about blocking cell signal blockers, having that installed. That's what he wants to do. Also talking with the Trump campaign about election integrity team in Montgomery County. I just wanted you to hear, and we'll go back to Tom here in a second, that people are on this, but it is a pitch battle. You have guys like this guy that's the lead commissioner out there in Montgomery County, and if they want election integrity, then you have to be reasonable here. How are you going to guard all those drop boxes? So Tom, you were saying something about in the primary to now. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So, sorry to call and drop.
Yeah.
What I was saying in the primary, the drop, we went to 24/7 drop boxes unguarded. Like there's nobody actually monitoring the drop boxes other than the video cameras that we have on them. We had residents come in that witnessed people dropping off multiple ballots, which we didn't do anything with, other than the conclusion was it was probably a spouse or family member's ballot. So I have a lot of concerns with the current drop boxes, and I would have tremendous concerns as we add more drop boxes. Then we have satellite offices that I went to, that I visited, that that I have a lot of concerns with as well. I mean, there's just so much, and election integrity is extremely important, and this is the battle that I'm fighting. I'm the one that said that I'd like to see cell signal blockers, where in central processing and all that, where all the ballot is being counted and all that, because there is concern about, is this equipment have cell signals? This was one of the things that was brought up from the 2020 election, and I'm like, well, nobody can answer my question of, do we know that they don't have cellular devices with inside the boxes? And I get a dumb look on their faces. So I said, well, then fine. To alleviate that, then let's put cell signal blockers on the boxes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's rational. Now, Tom, you mentioned, too, the Trump integrity team. So you're only one commissioner there. You're in a place it's heavily gung-ho on doing whatever they want. So are the Trump people going to help you?
So that's a great question. We are in communication. We are talking with the Trump integrity team. We're monitoring everything that's going on. His legal team is looking at things as well. So the good news is that I'm not in this alone. I have contacted and working with them. So we'll see where it goes. I'm glad that the Trump team, the Trump campaign, has built this election integrity team throughout, not only through Pennsylvania, but across the country. So, yes, I am in contact and working with them.
That's good to know then. The satellite office, the problem I have is I think it's a polling place. Wherever you can go and you're going to be putting ballots in or doing something with ballots is a polling place. So we ought to be able to watch it. But here's a more important thing, Tom. You mentioned something where listeners are. The listeners now have been educated on this. They're more concerned with the counting places, the chain of custody, and watching that. So what do you have in mind to ensure where the votes are counted, there's going to be monitoring?
So, great question. One of the things that I've been proposing, and we're hopefully working out the kinks, is that I said, well, first off, there's nothing in Act 77 that requires or promotes people that have watcher certificates being corralled in a location behind plexiglass. That was COVID. We're past COVID. Those people have the right to have better access or more access to that. Where the ballots are being opened and counted. So one of the things I proposed was that at least have the ability of 4 people from each party have full access to be able to walk around during the entire process, during the entire count, because with the new, I believe it's Act 88, requires once you start counting, you can't stop. So we're going to be counting. We're going to start counting 7 a.m. on Election Day, and we're going to count all the way through until all the ballots are counted.
That is the most critical thing we want to hear, Tom. You know that our listeners know if you stop the ballot count, wherever they do that, that is a signal to us that is unacceptable. But go ahead.
Well, no, so you're 100% right. And so I'm pushing to have the ability so we have a controlled environment where so people feel comfortable or safe as well, but we would have at least 4 people from each party at any given time having full access to walk around and completely monitor everything that's occurring throughout the entire, it's really going to be overnight. I mean, continuous from 7 a.m. on Election Day till whenever all the ballots are counted. So that's another thing that I'm pushing. So my whole goal is to have eyes everywhere, so people have that comfort level as well.
Tom, great stuff. Please keep us in the loop. Let us know what happens next.
I absolutely will. I'll keep you in the loop and updated on what's going on, and anything else I hear, I'll definitely will reach out.
Thank you, Tom. Have a nice weekend. Tom DeBello, commissioner out there in Montgomery County. We're trying to bring you, we have our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Of course, Linda Kearns is the defensive coordinator, and listeners are savvy, chain of custody, where they actually count the votes, not just the vote coming, the vote being taken in drop boxes and everything else. And then Scott Presler, well, he is the chairman, the offensive coordinator. Hopefully, Dan set him up on Monday, because we believe the news this week is that Bucks County's red now, maybe by as high as 79 votes, 79 registrations. That's all good. Montgomery County, though, is a sore point. Delaware County is even worse. That's the real epicenter, other than Philadelphia. Well, that goes without saying. All right, phone lines, 855-839-1210. Dan, look at the answer from Robert of Ben Salem. That's going to be hard to beat. We'll get that next. Something that is cheesy since the convention was held.
Fantastic answer.
Yeah, that is. The convention was held in Wisconsin. We'll get his next. Give me a reaction to Tom DeBello. Look, They control it 2-1, but we're trying to expose it. And Dan, if that's actually in the transcript, I want, as said by Dom Giordano next to that, just so this guy knows who we are. Can you imagine this guy sending around the truck? How about some ice cream while we're here?
So he said that happened yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look
see
and
if
see
we can find it. Yeah, if there's a transcript of it. I like it when they go, oh, that guy. Yeah. Strike that from the record. 855-839-1210.
Experience class.
I've got you.
Escape the ordinary.
Under my skin.
And let the music play.
But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop.
With Sid Mark and Frank Sinatra.
Because I've got you under my skin.
The legend continues. Sunday with Sinatra with Sid Mark. Sundays 11 till 1. Presented by the Crash Proof Retirement Show. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Explore the power of the 2024 Wrangler 4XE and 2024 Grand Cherokee 4XE at Tri-County Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 84 months. Plus, with Tri-County for Life, your engine, parts, and service are guaranteed for life. Enjoy free PA inspections and much more. We're easy to find off the Limerick exit of 422. Visit TriCountyAuto.net today for more details and experience the Tri-County difference.
You know me. You know I love easy living. You want the best. You want relaxation and invigoration. You want to transform your outdoor living space. You go to Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of Southeastern PA because it's not a hot tub, it's a jacuzzi. With Jacuzzi, you get the quality, you get the price, you get the whole thing.
Visit Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of SCPA.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano weekdays noon till 3. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. You just heard Tom DeBello and Dan. Wow, they're good in Montgomery County. Good transcription, Dan. You have the record yesterday when this came up that I've said, this guy's like an ice cream, Mr. Softy, coming out to your house to cure the ballots. How did it sound, Dan?
Don't support the mobile ice cream truck concept of driving around Montgomery County. This is not our responsibility as county government. It's not good fiduciary use of taxpayer money to have a vehicle in place to drive around to do voter outreach in our communities.
This is not an ice cream truck. It is potentially having vehicles that will do some of the things that Commissioner Makisha talked about. But, as I was digesting this as a possibility, as a new offering in Montgomery County, I thought about my parents, who are both bedbound, or my mom was bedbound, and so is my dad, right? And them not having the capacity to get out of bed, come to One Montgomery Plaza, right? So there's so many constituents, right, that just can't get here, that can't get online, right, or don't have that capacity. And so I think when we're thinking about our most vulnerable, right, this is another way in which we can support our most vulnerable. So
does this mean that potentially we're going to have a fleet of vehicles providing access to all the county services across Montgomery County, or are we just focused on ballot harvesting for elections?
Well, what it says is for voter services at this point. So I don't know. I can't predict the future.
Right.
I can't predict the future. My God, that woman, I've heard it before too, and the guy they belong in Philadelphia. My God. Dan, it's a broader question. Let's stop for a minute. Delaware County is just like this too. Kangaroo courts, the whole thing, right? They're as bad as Philadelphia, and that's really saying something. The suburbs used to be set up to say, no, we don't want to be Philadelphia. We're against what that's all about. Nice by Tom DeBello, though, but come on, give credit, Dan, because I'd love to have a stray comment, that guy, because you'd be calling him around the clock to get him on here. Dan, try again. See if the head commissioner or the second, the woman, would come on and tell us why they have to. I'll use the ice cream truck since we invented it to come out there and cure. It's like Bob Casey. There's so many people, it's impossible. That's all Democrats are trying to do. Why are you trying to? Casey said a 95-year-old farmer who couldn't get to a drop box.
What if you're 90 years old and you live in a rural area in Pennsylvania? What if you live in a rural area and you can't get to the county election bureau to drop off your mail-in ballot? Shouldn't you have a drop box if you're 90 years old and you want to vote? What if you live on a farm? What if you're running a farm and you've got a busy life, or you're running a small business? Shouldn't you have the opportunity to vote?
Oh, my God. They will not stop. And then they want to scream, why are we so concerned about election integrity? Why? Not going to do it this time around, the nonsense they did the last. That doesn't mean they're not going to try. You could see they're gearing up in Montgomery County. This is just part of their MO and making stuff up. Everybody's bedridden. What did we do before? Absentee balloting is the way that it went. But again, if you don't follow the rules and fill it out properly, that's on you. Isn't that fair? Oh, no. That's mean. That's 90-year-old farmers out there in the middle of nowhere with Bob Casey. Danny was getting animated. That's the only time I've ever heard him raise his voice. How many drop boxes, Bobby, should we have out there then? Give us an idea. Thousands? 855-839-1210. You get on board at 2 o'clock. Joe Biden has just released a statement about sticking and not going anywhere, but it's part 2 of what he attacks the Project 2025. Yeah, I'll tell you about that because we have a guest at 2 o'clock that's going to tell you exactly from the Heritage Foundation what that is. And they're going to try to play, but suddenly they've gotten onto this because of J.D. Vance, I guess, and they have nothing else. Bill O'Reilly will be here at 12:30 on Monday, just off his shootout with Jon Stewart, among other things, and someone who really knows President Trump and what happens next with him. Again, I thought that was great moments when he was talking about, I'm only going to tell you about this once, it's too painful, being shot. And then, all right, a few jokes, and good night, everybody. End the speech. 92 minutes. I don't understand how that helps him, but it is what it is, and I guess we'll continue. All right, 855-839-1210. Jump in on the side question 2 on Talk Radio 1210.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Join Nick Kale and WPHT in supporting the Bend to the Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. Ride 30 miles, 65 miles, or just make a donation to the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. Sign up with the code NIC1210 to get $25 off the registration fee. That's Ben, the number 2, shore.org. Promo code NIC1210. The Bend to Shore Bike Tour provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation.
You can still look great in that bathing suit this summer since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. Within a week of starting, you will notice pounds coming off and you'll feel good too since you are doing it the natural way, quickly and safely. You can still get slimmer this summer and without any shots. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com to lose the weight for good.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Down one thing. I'm speaking to fellow Christians. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say because it's very narcissistic. What about Corey? What's his name? Comparatore, the fireman who also got killed.
I don't know. I think some Christians.
What about all those guys who got killed on Sandy Hook? All of those people. Yeah. It's God was watching me and not watching them. There's something very disturbing. God should have pulled.
All right, they can't stand it. I get that argument that you got to watch it with it. I'm not one of those guys that always going to point to it in that manner, but they're only doing it to try to take away from the fact that what's happened here is as remarkable, and we've said it all week, but you can't say it more, that the Secret Service, in a relatively easy thing to thwart, came nowhere near it, and Trump almost got killed by a quarter of an inch. And the political goldmine of that, in addition to the human connection to it, is unprecedented. You know, usually when you see something like this, the president is killed, or in the case of Reagan, he was president early on in his term. In the case of Teddy Roosevelt, he's the one that's most apropos with Trump. He was running, and he was shot, and the speech was so thick, in addition to whatever else he had in his pocket, that he survived and gave the speech. They don't like it because it was well done by Trump in not, going after the Secret Service. And in a very moving part, that part of the speech was very moving, talking about what that's like when you're shot at in that manner and when someone else is killed protecting others. I can't wait for Monday. This is going to be a pivotal moment. Now, President Biden, Jonathan Martin on Twitter reporting, has put out a statement saying that he is sticking. And one of the reasons he's sticking, this is hard to believe of where they're being directed now, is that he has to fight Trump and Project 2025. Now, think about it. Usually our criticism is all they want to do is talk about abortion. Yeah, which is true. The next thing is Trump is Hitler. Let's get him. You can't let him get in there. The country will be over with. Now, they're going around saying it's Project 2025. So we have a representative on from the Heritage Foundation. Dan and I have some questions about what do they mean by the deep state. I know what I think they mean, or what I think is the problem. It's the administrative state, not just bad actors who might be on high levels. These bureaucrats who really can slow things down, move things around, and with Trump, say with the wall, all the difficulty that was there. Some of that was, maybe Trump realizes now in his second term, you have to hit the ground running. The clock starts ticking. You only get so much time to build a wall. The big thing I want to talk to you about, they're criticizing too, and they're linking to Project 2025. And we'll ask our guest about that at 2 o'clock. There were people holding up signs saying mass deportation. Now, that is item 2 on the Trump Republican Party platform. Does that issue, I'm just asking from a political level, does that issue cut positively toward the Republican side? In other words, yeah, I want that. That ultimately is the only remedy. It's not enough to close up the border. We have upwards of 20 million people here illegally, that piece by piece deportation would be the way to go. But when you hold those up, the media starts connecting it to all kinds of things. The polling seems to indicate the majority support that. But then you get into having to explain, well, how would that look? In other words, how would you go about doing that? All that battle starts up. So 855-839-1210. That's number 2 item in the Republican platform, and that is in Project 2025. People are not going nuts about it, but the Biden people think they can make this Project 2025 so sinister that they're taking away every right, school lunches, overtime, I've heard them say. Yeah, if Trump gets elected, he'll institute 2025, and this project will stop you from getting overtime. Now, just think of how ridiculous that is. How are you going to do something like that? But it is a lot of pages, a lot of thought. A lot of things here that could be done. And this is where the other side has landed to go after it. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. So with Biden, Republicans saying, and they're right, the only way that you can get out of this cleanly is to invoke the 25th Amendment with Biden. A, he shouldn't be president if he's dropping out from the race because he can't do that. B, they're trying to gum up the works. Republicans are, and justifiably, with Kamala Harris here. Now, the wildest idea, and I can't tell you I believe Democrats are going to do this, but they may be under so much pressure that they're looking for a way not to go to Kamala Harris, and it's hard. They're talking about mini primaries, really quick primaries in 6 swing states. Of course, the biggest one electorally, the prize is Pennsylvania. And then they would look at who did the best, and they would be the nominee. By the time we get to the convention, I don't even think their convention is 6 weeks away now. Let's see, 22, 29, what is it, about 5 weeks you'd have to do these primaries in? And that brings into play one of the favorites is Josh Shapiro. Now, Frank Luntz, remember the years we had to put up with this guy on Fox till he was debunked for what he is? He was on this morning talking about his polling, Dan, and he said, well, they have great candidates. The governor of Maryland, who's only been in the office for a heartbeat. And then he says, Cory Booker. They ought to think about Cory Booker. He draws crowds. He's articulate. He's compelling. He's a minority. Oh, yeah, let's put up Cory Booker against Trump. Oh, my God. This is what they're reduced to, Cory Booker?
Yeah, you don't think he has a shot?
And let's go through some of the others. I mean, I think out of the other, I think it is because...
It's about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
Dan, I had him at the 2016 convention because it was here in Philadelphia, and I had a friend that was head of the DNC. They brought him in, and he actually did the Tonight Show thing, with the hands together, bounding me like this before he started talking, this kind of stuff. Oh, my God. It got a little intense. It's pretty hard to get him riled up, though, and he's thinking, what the hell am I doing here? All right, so Cory Booker being proposed. Now, the media in Philadelphia loves Josh Shapiro. They be all over this. To Dan's point, though, how is he ever going to get the nomination in a party that is loaded with anti-Semites, particularly with Gaza and everything else going on? I don't even think he can get the number 2 slot. But he would be one of the odds-on favorite. I watched the big Gretch, Whitmer. She's never been in the ring with somebody like Trump. I can't even imagine. She just doesn't strike me on that level. Newsom, even though he has baggage that's unbelievable, would probably be the better choice. Josh Shapiro would be the first choice to me, though. So could we see Josh Shapiro as their nominee after all is said and done? Well, if they jump over Kamala Harris, there's no way you're going to win then with Josh Shapiro. I don't see it, particularly with the rabid anti-Semitism in the party. So the bottom line is they're in big trouble here. Dan, are you saying, let's take a pledge here. When we convene again on Monday at noon, will Joe Biden still be in the race?
What's that? So
will he still be in the race? Will he have dropped out, or will he be in the race?
I think so. The rumors are Sunday, right?
Yeah.
But I think he's going to push it and try his hardest to stay around as long as he can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how this COVID thing develops because, the guy was greeting people without a face mask earlier in the day, and then all of a sudden he comes down with COVID. It's very convenient timing. Cough, cough. But I see him not being the nominee 2 weeks from now, I would say.
All right. So I say he sticks. He's here on Monday, and I've been saying that all along. And if he's here on Monday, I don't know what the next level is that's going to get him out of here. The COVID makes him look even weaker. I agree. But I think he's going to be here on Monday. I think that's why he put out the statement. and then we'll see from there.
So I'm really concerned about this Roy Cooper guy. North Carolina governor. Yesterday, Howard Dean actually let it slip. He suggested that the ticket would be Harris/Cooper. And I think this guy's kind of running way under the radar on purpose by the media, because I don't think the media really wants people to know anything about him. So when they do add him to the ticket, it's like, oh, look, here's this dark horse candidate like J.D. Vance who's coming to save democracy.
I don't know fully enough about him, but I think that North Carolina is not a swing state. I don't think it was the last time. I don't think it is now after the assassination attempt. I think you got to play for Pennsylvania, but you still think, no way. They're not going to play for Pennsylvania. I think they have to. I mean, that's the only thing. If this guy brings you North Carolina, I'd be surprised. All right, but I've heard him talked about. Then there's Cory Booker. 855-839-1210. You get on board. What was the magical moment to you in that convention? I still say it was the Gold Star families having their day and how people emoted, reacted, knew the names, were saying out the names with them. We hope to bring you a little bit of that when we bring Don Jr. to town. This is one of the biggest, at this point, Nick Foles bigger on paper. That was just once in a lifetime. But given Don Jr.'s prominence right now that you saw through the convention, given how big this election cycle is, I would argue he's right there on a par. And you get the book, Letters to Trump, which I think you'll find fascinating. It's a great coffee table book, letters from Oprah, Hillary, and all these people. Reviewers say it moves the point. Why did they like Trump then and then hate him once he said he was running? Not even now. I think that's why he put the book together, to say, what a bunch of fraud, what hypocrisy here. Have I changed, or do they have to do it to stay in good? By the way, Martina Navratilova doesn't think it's overly dramatic to have that bandage on that Trump has on. I don't know when it'll come off. So there's a million things to talk about with Don Trump Jr., and you'll be there with it. You'll have your book, and you'll be in the company of just talk radio listeners, just that you're one in the same manner. It's kind of our own mini convention, the way that this has evolved. Tickets at 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. That's how you get in. All right, let me go to Robert, who's been waiting a long time. He's got a great one, too, in Bensalem. Hey, Robert, thank you for the wait. Go ahead.
Hey, Dom, Dan. I wasn't waiting that long at all. I wanted to – hello?
Yep, you're here.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to make a comment on people like Amber Rose, and this also applies to Jeff Van Drew. It also applies to J.D. Vance. Your honest convert is often your best advocate. So instead of some of us figuring out how we can use these people, I would say just embracing them will have the political effect without using them. We need to celebrate these people because they're expanding our tent in an honest way through their own research, and that's to be applauded.
Well, there's a line between, quote, using them, going too far, and giving them a platform so that they're a model of who we're going after, and got to be careful. You have to be sensitive with it, yeah.
Yes, and with the 2025 project thing, I read the outline, and I'm going to read it this weekend. And I don't want to step on what your guest is going to say, but it occurs to me that one of the things after he implements the people he needs to be implementing in the sensitive places in the bureaucracy, it's also saying to curtail on that branch passing these rules without any oversight from Congress. So while these nudniks on the left are saying Donald Trump is trying to be a dictator, he's going to be actually weakening his branch of the government. So I'll be laughing at them while they're making this stupid correlation while he's doing the exact opposite to our benefit.
Well, but I'll let right. Before you give me your answer, too, Robert, the only reason is, even though they can't articulate, you're right, though. That's a great point. They like the administrative state because they want to control us. They love it, and Congress loves it because they say, I didn't do that. I didn't pass that rule. It's all in the minutia of the rule. And these are the people controlling our lives.
And they're installing accountability, and that's what's frightening the Democrats. They don't want the accountability. They want that behind-the-scenes power. So it is a good thing so far. But for my side answer, and I really appreciate you letting me vent that out because I was starting to burst inside, I'm going to go with the 1970s porn star mustache, which is probably the cheesiest personal affect I've ever seen. And you guys have an amazing weekend, Dom.
Thank you. That's going to be hard to beat. Oh, God. Yeah, it seems like, not that I would know, Dan, but I've been told that every one of those guys would have to affect the mustache.
And it's making a return, too. I don't know if you've noticed, but the younger guys with this, the mustache and this particular style of mustache seems to be cool again, and I don't get it.
As you know, never been a mustache guy, a beard guy.
I like beards,
stuff.
but mustaches,
no. God,
unless you're a police officer.
Yeah.
Then I feel like it kind of comes with the job, right?
Yeah, it does. Oh, God. All right, 855-839-1210. We'll take your calls. Couple of observations coming up. Sadly, I didn't know he was ill. I'm not sure about it. President Trump is the one that announced it. The great Lou Dobbs passed away yesterday. I'll tell you a little bit about Lou Dobbs. I've been honored to fill in to be the principal fill-in, O'Reilly, Lou Dobbs, and Jim Bohannon, okay? We've lost two of them, but Lou Dobbs was one of the smartest guys, and I'll tell you how apparently he was on Truth Social 2 or 3 hours before his death, supporting Trump on Truth Social, Lou Dobbs. That's an amazing story. Hard to believe, but we want to give him a little bit of honor here, too, on The Dom Show on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, this is Dom Giordano. I want to tell you about a huge Politics and Pints, really huge. I'm bringing to town on July 30th to the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey, Don Trump Jr. We'll talk the election, State of the Union, all the recent events, cash bar, soft drinks, wine, and the like. You don't want to be shut out on this one. Don Trump Jr. Go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia on July 25th for a virtual tour of the Renoir and Women exhibit at the Barnes Foundation. Learn more at aarp.org/local.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Hi everyone, Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
A worldwide computer outage crashes systems at banks, airports, and elsewhere because of a software update defect, not a hack. American journalist Evan Gershkovich gets 16 years in Russian prison for spying. U.S. says it's a sham. And Yemen's Houthi rebels claim responsibility for a missile strike in Tel Aviv that kills one.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatетraders.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. Welcome in. You heard Robert, the side question. They were in Wisconsin all last week. That's the premise. So what is something that's corny or at least cheesy? Cheesy's worse than corny. Either one. By the way, John Deere strikes me in Iowa as kind of in cornfields. They are now backing away from it will no longer support social or cultural awareness events, becoming the largest major U.S. company to distance itself from diversity and inclusion measures after being targeted by conservative backlash. So they were getting into diversity quotas and everything. I guess that memo never got to the Secret Service, though. I mean, that's an issue. This woman who heads it on record, 30% we need by X number of years. Once you go down that's your distraction of what you're thinking about. You know, how come something like the NFL never says, we're going to have X number of, there is no, Dan, and I think I'm not an expert enough. If we're basketball, I could give an opinion. I don't know if Cooper DeJean has the ability to play outside, play cornerback on the Philadelphia Eagles or anywhere in the NFL. Starting, I'm talking about. He definitely is athletic enough to play inside, cornerback, nickelback, call it what, slot back, call it what you will. But I wouldn't be, we need to have a white guy out there. But he seems like he could be qualified. But in the NFL, it's not like, that guy's passably somebody who could play cornerback. No, we want the absolute best down to a molecule to be playing that because it's fiercely competitive. Wouldn't you think it would be the same thing when you have one mission? By the way, another thing they ought to do after this hearing, get the Secret Service out of all this stuff with counterfeit money. Just get out of here. Put some counterfeit money guys on that. What the Secret Service should be on is simply one thing, their role, whoever the people are that they're protecting, to be the finest in the world, finest humanly possible. Think about that, though. Cooper DeJean, shouldn't he be out there? There is no starting white guy. The last that I know of was Seahorn, and I think the only reason he started, he was pretty good. White guy starting cornerback. That's years ago. He was in a major media market, There were advertisers, brought attention to the Giants. He was a good-looking guy, that kind of stuff. I don't know that he was the best to start. Why is that? That doesn't seem fair. Well, the reason is obvious. They don't think they're good enough. Just like I don't know of too many American white guy point guards that start anyhow in the NBA. There might be none almost many years. Well, that's not right. What about diversity, inclusion, and all that? Yeah, so why would you have to have women in these Secret Service details when, A, they're probably not going to be tall enough to do one of the things, shield the presidential candidate, for example? Why should that be something that's a focus? I'd like to hear a debate, discussion with the head of the Secret Service in that. This is one of the worst levels where that has bled into it. Now, as far as Lou Dobbs, if you remember, originally was the money guy, and then it bled over into general talk. And at one point, before he went to Fox, a few years before that, that was the biggest show in TV. And what was the issue? Illegal immigration. He morphed over the years into attacking globalists, attacking to corporate America. Lou always used to say to me, it's not the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They're just a Chamber of Commerce. They're anti-American. He is one of the premier guys that we've seen in talk radio. And Dan, it's fitting that Nicole Wallace, a genius on MSNBC, would say that Lou Dobbs, Dom Giordano, Rich Cioli, Talk Radio 1210, Nicholas Cale, not Nick Cale anymore, Nicholas Cale.
Nicholas.
We got that few. By the way,
stalker.
I heard if you want to, heard if you want to join that promo we played for his 65-mile ride to Atlantic City, you put in Nick. That doesn't seem right.
No.
I'm not allowed to call Don Trump Jr. Don Trump Jr. I have to say Donald, apparently. Or I'm going to be fined that night. Did you see that memo? We don't think you should be saying that.
I don't know. You know what, though? Dawn was making a good point this morning.
What's
because
that?
She was saying that when talking about Don Jr., Don Trump Jr., she thinks it's perfectly okay in conversation when talking about him to refer to him as Don Jr.
Right.
But she's talking about specifically for Nick Cale, who's going to be introducing him on stage. Does he call him Don Trump Jr., or does he say in the first announcement of his name at the event, we welcome Donald Trump Jr.?
Well, it's my event, even though it's a station event. I rule that he say Don Trump Jr. Otherwise, you'll be standing by, Dan, with a court order to tag him out and jump up there and introduce him.
I'll have a giant gong.
Yeah,
on the side
that's
of the stage,
it.
right?
Get Nicholas Cale out of there. So, no, I don't think Don's right on that one. Sorry to say, overruled. It's going to be one thing. How's that going to look if he's calling him Donald, then I'm saying Don Trump Jr. the whole time?
Yeah, well, she also mentioned that maybe say Donald Trump Jr. the first time he says the name, but then when he says, and here's Dom Giordano and Don Trump Jr., do it both, kind of?
Why are they they have so much time in the morning? Is it get it?
We got to remember that, Dawn comes from the world of news, and, having the correct names is very important to, those types of situations. So maybe she's onto something here.
I've almost never heard him want to be known as Donald Trump Jr., though. He goes by Don Jr.
And Nicholas also had a suggestion of calling him DJT Jr.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
One up in it, even going even shorter.
We might do that. Get the name right. D-O-M. Well, get your tickets, too. That's what you do. 855-839-1210. You get on board. So one thing, Lou Dobbs was just a great behind-the-scenes guy. O'Reilly is, too. O'Reilly is one of the most loyal people I've ever run into. And Jim Bohannon was one of just arguably the best guy in talk radio. Here's Nicole Wallace, though, telling us she knows what talk radio is all about.
I think the thing that's so important to understand, and I'm thinking back to an interview Sean Hannity and Geraldo, I don't know who was interviewing who, Geraldo and Sean Hannity are talking, and they're talking jovially about how Nixon never would have had to leave. if Sean had been around. I mean, we kind of started putting the pieces together about how we got here. We talked about talk radio grafting onto the Republican Party rhetorically. This is a political movement that cannot, totally codependent on disinformation. And so as sort of the right-wing media ecosystem became more, people used to change channels. Right now, they're locked in with Fox News. And then if they flip around, they'll see how Newsmax is covering the same conspiracy.
All right, but nothing on MSNBC. Now, was MSNBC actually there? The conspiracy there is Rachel Maddow was not. They were back in New York, Dan, looking at a green screen, right? They weren't in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's not even a conspiracy. It's proven at
this
point.
It's proven, and they didn't tell anybody about that. They couldn't even show up.
Yeah. Just a giant green screen. And they acted like they were there. That's the sad part, is they were trying to perceive themselves as being there. And someone actually found their booth and just noticed it's just a camera pointing out into the audience, and they're using an LED screen behind them.
Well,
Jake Tapper called him out on CNN even.
Yeah. Sean Hannity, I think, and Mark Levin just heard that from Nicole Wallace. I think they have a rejoinder.
Well, you know what it is. I mean, they're going to talk about talk radio, and we have no Gingrich on the program today. Greg Jarrett's going to join us. Hannity Fox News Channel. Don't forget your DVR now more than ever in the hazy, hot Hannity election days of summer. We've got to do this, because if we don't, it's going to be Kamala Harris, or God forbid, it might be Hillary Clinton. And you know what it is? If you did this with bleach bit or hammers and with your emails, you'd be in jail. Zero experience, Hunter. But don't forget, it all comes up tonight, Hannity Fox News Channel.
Thank you very much, Sean. All right. So, Nicole Wallace. No, I mean, Dan, that's one of the greatest things about this, that somehow or another, I remember the day Lou Dobbs called me to be a sub-host for him. He was new to doing talk radio. And Dan, the people he had working with him wrote up a script for each hour. You can't write up a script.
For you, they wrote up a script?
They were doing it for him, and the first time I did the show, they said, well, we have a script. So I did it for about an hour, then just said, come on.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah. Can you imagine a script? Who knows what we were going to talk about here?
Let's go inside baseball real quick, because scripts are really rare in radio to find something like that. But sometimes you have like the first segment outlined, kind of point by point. As we don't do that on our show. Yours is just completely, It's amazing how you do your show, but there are some hosts that do that. Is that what we're talking about? Lou Dobbs had like an outline, or was it actually like word for word scripted?
The last hour, because they had only a few affiliates, was scripted.
Yeah, wow.
It was like this. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
I know there's a line that we used a lot called "The script just arrived today."
Yeah.
But how many of those setups did we do together, Dom, on the Lou Dobbs?
Oh, yeah,
I
exactly.
set up for that.
Yeah, and filling in for O'Reilly, Bohannon. There were a couple of. I mean, these are the giants. I never got to fill in for Rush, and no script there. I mean, this flows based upon breaking news, based upon the host. That's the beauty. Based upon the callers. You don't know where you're going. We have an outline of stuff that we think is important you should hit that day. And then Dan says some conspiratorial thing, and I go off. Or we get a text from Roe or a caller, or I see something in the news, or I see Larry Krasner, and then we're off to the races. All right,
Little throwback there for some Lou Dobbs. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Great guy. And we actually, Dan, were invited. He did a year-end party, and I thought, Sussex County. I don't know Upper Jersey that much. Suddenly, Roe and I are past New York City, and we're not there anywhere near it from here. It was like the Ponderosa. It was this gigantic farm of acres and acres and acres with big water fountains spouting in the air.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm sitting at a table with all these CNN types. It was pretty nuts to put up my... Yeah.
No, I just pulled... Oh, wow. You're talking Lou Dobbs' house?
Yeah, Lou Dobbs' house.
Yeah, I just pulled up a picture. This thing is beautiful, man.
Oh, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, so Roe was sitting in the kitchen talking for hours with his wife, with coffee and everything else. It was great, yeah. O'Reilly invited me to Long Island. We haven't done that yet, but we'll let you know. He's on the show on Monday. All right, so 855-839-1210. You jump on board. Side question today, something cheesy because of Wisconsin. The porn mustache, that's an excellent one. Hit us at 855-839-1210. Let's talk about Dr. Bentz, though. Again, this is something at Talk Radio. You probably know if you've been listening for a while. A large part of our connection, it's kind of the Holy Trinity. Hosts, listeners, and, of course, our sponsors. But these are not sponsors from afar. They're people that many times are connected with Rich or Dawn or me or Nick. And that's Dr. Bentz, my dentist, for years, board-certified prosthodontist, and the Bentz Dental Group. Now, Dr. Bentz is known for a lot of things. We kid about that 3D printer, which really adds great results. But also, he and his staff, their skill when someone has to overcome fear, maybe even anxiety about going to the dentist. We've sent people to him. The results have been incredible. That's one thing to consider. But if you're looking for somebody with tremendous skill, tremendous staff, and that 3D printer, boy, just had a tooth replaced recently. The result, bang, pop it in, that's it. Get out of here, you're done. None of that, it's off, you have to, no, none of that. Convenient, lack of stress, just tremendous dental work. The Bentz Dental Group. You find them at bentzdentalgroup.com or call them for your appointment today, 610-272-6949. Visit bentzdentalgroup.com, 610-272-6949.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
How did your son or daughter do in school this year? These summer months is the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student for back to school now. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders like high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation. Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
Looking for the confidence to walk away from the 9-to-5? Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Discover Lancaster.
A comfortable air mass is in place as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today, warm but not humid, high 87. Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable, low near 70. And Saturday, partly sunny, a little bit more humid. Could be a shower in some spots in the afternoon with a high 85.
Discover more of Lancaster. This week, head to Lancaster County to enjoy the fresh air and learn more about the Amish culture. Just a 90-minute drive from Philadelphia. Visit discoverlancaster.com to plan your getaway.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Welcome to Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Coming out of the convention, though, this is one of the most unified that we've ever seen. Should be one of the most effective that we've ever seen. Based upon what I see with the RNC this time around, I think they are on top of both getting out the vote and also protecting the vote. And we just talked with Tom DiBello. One of the key areas people looking at, and they are too, is the chain of custody with the vote electronically and then the counting. People, eyes on the counting. And in this area, there's going to be a pitched battle over that, particularly with Philadelphia. Here's Tucker Carlson, though, last night, Dan. This is cut 12, and Tucker made this point that Trump and the Trump people did not inflame the country after being shot, even though there's more than enough evidence to say that the Biden people didn't go out of their way to provide. It's one thing to make it inconvenient for you. It's another thing, though, to make it that your life is at risk. Here's what Carlson said.
I think it changed him. He reached out to Trump within hours of it that night. And what he said to me that night, having just been shot in the face, he said not a single word about himself. He said only how amazed he was and how proud he was of the crowd, which didn't run. And I thought two things. The first thing I thought was, well, of course they didn't run. His courage gave them heart. A leader's courage gives courage to his people. And the second thing I thought was, this is the selfish guy I've been hearing about for 9 years, really? Not a word about himself? About his people, period. And the second thing I noticed, which I don't think anyone has remarked upon in public, but I'm just going to since I don't have a script, like why not, is that he turned down the most obvious opportunity in politics to inflame the nation after being shot. To inflame the nation, which is an opportunity that almost every other politician I've ever met, and certainly his opponents, would have taken instantly. And they would have said, well, what is this? How did he get shot? Like, how did this happen? And those are real questions that we have to get to the bottom of. But in the moments, the days, the week after the shooting, he did not say that. He did his best to bring the country together. And I thought, this is the divisive figure? This is the irresponsible person? No. This is the most responsible, unifying behavior of a leader I think I've ever seen.
All right, that's why it's good that this is going to start up on Monday. And rather than inflaming, what we have to see our elected officials do is point by point by point, continue to drill down, including the documents that were involved here, to get to the bottom of who made these decisions and why did they not protect the former president in the manner that would have easily prevented this. All right, our TV guy, Neil Zorn, is next. We'll talk convention. Also, what's good coming up that's on TV now that we're out of the convention, say this weekend? I have a couple things on Netflix, one that I really like. I'll tell you about those, and Neil Zorn with us on Talk Radio 1210.
I have a challenge for you. I want you to write down everything that you worry about, from your kids to your bills, from the economy to the election. It would probably be a pretty long list. And when you get to a certain age, you can add retirement to that list. Did you save enough? What do you do about Social Security? Is your money in the right place? And is that 401k going to cause you a tax problem? We all worry about retirement. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, they're offering a complimentary retirement consultation. It's a free meeting to talk through all those concerns. So instead of worrying about retirement, let Spectrum Wealth show you ways to help retire your worries. Call 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
I am a father.
I am a mentor.
I am a wife. I am an artist.
I am a husband.
I am a friend.
I am a sports fan. I am your neighbor.
I am a member of your church.
I am.
I am. I am.
I am a police officer.
Support your local law enforcement officials. Sponsored by the Pennsylvania Fraternal Order of Police. Visit partnersinpublicsafety.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. If you drive a car, you want it to last a long time and not cost you lots of money in the long run. You need to get your car serviced at United Tire and Service. I get my car serviced at one of their 10 locations throughout the Delaware Valley. You should too. Right now, get an oil change on any make or model, and they'll do a free summer trip check so you're ready to hit the road. 20-point safety check, brakes, belts, important fluid levels, lights, even the spare tire. To find the location nearest you, go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Winter is coming. Our space town will look flattened, like a single sculpture.
Ah! Someone snitched! You want me? Earn me!
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm in a dream.
That's right, Dolores. You're in a dream.
I am the one who knocks.
And now, Neil Zorin with What's on TV.
That's right. Every other week we talk with Neil. We just had the convention. How was the coverage? Well, MSNBC caught faking it, not even there. Let's go to Mr. Neil Zorin. Hey, Neil, welcome in.
Oh, there you go. Leave it to MSNBC to do that. I mean, they had a whole lineup. They said in the beginning that they were going, in their publicity, they said they were going to have something on every show. That, everybody was going to comment. But it's true to form. But what is interesting about the convention, it wasn't true to form. It was an amazing production. I even liked the production that the Republicans did in 2020 when they didn't have a live a convention, when they did everything on video. But I think in this case, coverage is going to be what it was going to be anyhow. People have had their sides. Television takes their sides. But I think that the amazing thing about this one is, especially after the assassination attempt, that there was a new look at Donald Trump from a lot of different news sources, and even including the video news sources. Suddenly he had a gravitas that they never gave him before. Suddenly they looked at him as a person, a vulnerable person who has a wound in his ear, as opposed to a character. And I think that was a big difference. And for the Republicans themselves, for the convention itself, the actual attitude of the convention was, whoever thought the Republicans would have a kumbaya experience.
Yeah, and also have something that was relatively fun. I'm not sure if it went overboard with some of the cultural figures. Maybe Kid Rock. Dan didn't give that a great performance. No, I agree with you, Neil. And again, they show their colors here. At some of the more emotional moments that Fox stayed with, like finally the Gold Star families having a chance to emote and tell us their stories in the convention. That was the high point for me. They cut away from it. Any praying of any sort, even if brief, they seem to find a reason to cut away from it. It will be interesting to see how they cover the Democrat convention this time. I think they will be emphasizing the division, at least CNN might.
Well, they have to. And besides which, we have a lot of things. Both conventions, when it began, looked boring. It looked like the only thing that would happen in the Republican convention is who the VP candidate would be. And by the way, Vance did a great job introducing himself to the world who didn't know him, either from Hillbilly Elegies or his political career to date. He did a fantastic job. So you had that. But then after the assassination, you had the whole thing about what kind of ovation is Donald Trump going to get when he enters. I mean, especially after that fist pump. And with the Democratic convention, what he's looking for is just, can Biden hold on, or is there going to be a moment? I'm not saying this is going to happen. Biden gets nominated. He declines. The orchestration is he declines the nomination and passes it on to somebody else. So you all know that the only reason that Kamala Harris is even in the conversation is because they can't spend the money if they don't have her. So, but now you have also the big story I'm looking for in the Democratic convention is what the activists do on the streets of Chicago.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Because they're planning to recreate 1968, and will Joy Reid be there with a big sign joining them?
Yes, absolutely.
She's my favorite, the Maxine Waters of television correspondence.
Without a doubt. So, Neil, we're heading into a time of year where people have vacation, whatever, more time to catch up on a show. I'd recommend my first at Netflix. Of course, you mentioned Hillbilly Elegy. The only thing is, don't expect that it was the production values were not good, if you remember. Must have been low budget, but Ron Howard did direct it. It is moving big time. Glenn Close. I forget who
Oscar
plays.
nomination.
Yeah, and the mom is Amy Adams, who's very good.
And the interesting thing about Hillbilly Elegies to me is in 2016 when the book came out, the New York Times and other let's say left thinking press praised it to the hilt, and it was on all the kinds of best lists. I wonder if they remember that, or if again, because of the politics of the day, they're going to forget that J.D. Vance is the person they praised in 2016.
Yeah, without a doubt. Neil, the other one I'd recommend, and we're on the cusp of NFL, we always are, they did quarterbacks last year. It was okay. It wasn't as insightful. I've been watching Receivers, and this is better. It's a great on the field, a lot of stuff of how they joust with each other, et cetera. And these are the kind of the divas of football. So what's your recommendation, Neil? What do you have?
Well, if you're going to see a movie, I would go back to some of the movies of the last several years. I mean, they aren't necessarily political or anything like that, but seeing Belfast, maybe if you're into television, seeing Being the Ricardos. Oddly enough, I picked two movies from 2021, which I didn't mean to do. Well, no, I think one is from 2022, but I didn't mean to do. But I would go back and look again at some of the current series that are up for the Emmys. I definitely would have people look at The Bear. In the first two seasons of The Bear, I had to slide into it. And of course, season 2, number 7, the show about Christmas Eve, for which Jamie Curtis and John Berthel and other people have been nominated, in addition to Jeremy Allen White, is I think the best show that's been on television since Breaking Bad.
Wow.
The entire Breaking Bad. Yeah, the best single episode of a show that's on television. So I would go back and look at The Bear. I think if you're interested in the history, I think it's a good time to go back, and if you've never seen it, go back and look at the entire Crown for when Claire Foy begins it, and then when it goes into Olivia Colman and now Imelda Staunton, and The Crown also, I think, is still, again, a contender for a lot of the 2024 Emmys. Because when I look at the nominees of the Emmys, I think most of them are dismissible. I mean, I'd love to see Carol Burnett get an Emmy, but I couldn't sit through the Palm Royal. I just couldn't do it.
Well, Neil, how about the competition, too, now? We have, Abbott Elementary is a cute show, but I've been down on them because they're a propaganda machine, too. The attacks on school choice, et cetera.
Right.
And it's up against The Bear, I think, in a lot of ways.
It is. They both got a lot of nominations. And Abbott Elementary stands out only because if you look at the nominees, except for some Saturday Night Live nominees, it's the only one that isn't cable or streaming. I mean, ABC has one show that gets multiple nominations. The problem I have with Abbott Elementary is not only that it plays into things, it never really has a plot. So it's always not only situational, but immediate situational, like little vignettes and things like that. And I find that totally uninteresting. I don't find it funny. I think Shirley Ralph is good in the piece, although I hope she does. I don't ever want her to win because I don't want her to give another acceptance speech. But that's besides the point. But I think but I'm also not a fan of the show. I think I'm known for not liking any shows that were ever set in Philadelphia, except maybe for Cold Case.
That was a very good show.
I don't like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't like It's Abbott Elementary. Anything that's set in Philadelphia is like, okay, I'll look at the scenery, but I could go down and see it in person. So that's that. The Bear is actually more and more of a creation that is I think what television's about. And when you begin this series and this season began for me with a bang from the beginning, with a look of being the cousin being exiled to another restaurant, a fancy restaurant, to sort of learn what the real ropes are, and then being resentful and then taking to it. So I think you're getting a lot more into the characters of The Bear, and I would watch that if you haven't seen it. The other thing, if you're looking for fun, is The Gentleman in Moscow, which I'm surprised did not get any Emmy nominations. I'd have to look to see if it was in the year of eligibility, because I'm surprised that at least that that Ewan McGregor didn't at least get a nomination. And also go back to some of the things from this year. I think Ripley is worth seeing. I think Sugar with Colin Farrell is worth seeing. And again, if you've never seen The Sopranos or Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or Ozark, they're the Mount Rushmore.
They are, definitely. So, Neil, where do we find you until 2 weeks from today?
You'll find me. I've been watching a lot of these Emmy nominations I never heard of, but you'll see me in the Delaware County Daily Times and related newspapers, and neilpaspapers.com, which I'm refurbishing. So it's going to be looking different in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks very much, Neil Zorin. Coming up, finally, we get the Heritage Foundation on to talk about their Project 2025. Biden-Harris even making that a centerpiece to go after. And Dom's Money Melody, Talk Radio 1210.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. Did you know we are having a full one-day event on August 17th? It's called the Money Hacks event. You want to come to this event and you will learn how to become your own bank, how to invest in real estate without any money. You will learn the stock market, and you will learn how to build credit for cash-flowing assets, and so much more. It's a full day packed with information. Use the code 1210, that's 1210, to get a 50% discount on the ticket. Go to 4mmw.com, that's 4mmw.com, and register today.
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement. Confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James B. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. You heard about this during the convention. You heard any number of people referencing it. This morning, the Biden-Harris newsletter of the day, their talking points, they talked about the fact that J.D. Vance is the poster for Project 2025. And then they went on to distill their version of Project 2025. Quarterbacked by the on Google, more people are searching for Project 25 than Taylor Swift or the NFL. I think that was the Black Entertainment Network last week put that out. Think about it. Not abortion. Well, they're looking for something else. Trump, they're not going to go after for a day or two. The villainous, the possibly Orwellian Project 2025. Joining us is Hans von Spassky. Hans is the author of the FEC chapter of Project 2025, manager, election law reform initiative, and senior legal fellow at the Edwin Meese Third Center for Legal and Judicial Studies for the Heritage Foundation, which is the principal here putting this out. And Dan and I were going back and forth of what I thought the deep state was, what he thought it might be, and what they're trying to curb. In other words, how was Trump thwarted in the first time around? Let's go to Hans here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Hans, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us. And are you surprised that you're trending more than Taylor Swift or the NFL?
Well, yeah, I have to admit, because our plan's been out for a year. And you have to wonder why all of a sudden is it getting all this attention, particularly from the Biden campaign. And I have to tell you, I think it's because they're trying to distract the public from the physical and mental questions that have arisen about the mental and physical abilities of their nominee. And almost everything they're putting out about it is a complete and total fabrication.
Well, we'll get to some of those. Let me ask you, though, did you guys consider doing this on the down low, giving this to Trump, the Trump administration, his people? Because I think the gripe I'd had with the first Trump term was they didn't know going in how many roadblocks could be placed there, running out the clock, et cetera. When you publicize this, even though it's incredibly thoughtful, detailed, and it's put in, my producer, Dan Hans, made the point today, it's put in really to limit the executive and the executive branch in a way by taking away all these people that have usurped power, these pointy-headed bureaucrats that nobody elected. Why not just give the document to the Trump people, let them execute it?
Oh, well, that's what we intend to do. We hope that's what they do. Look, it's a 900-page document, and there's a chapter in there on every single major government agency, whether it's the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, and they give detailed plans on how to reform those agencies to bring them back into doing what they are supposed to do, as opposed to things they're doing which they shouldn't be doing. And quite frankly, we hope that a new president will take this and hand it to every member of his cabinet and say, you need to read the chapter on your agency and you need to put this in place.
Well, part of it, the biggest part of it, I think where we start is the people. So getting the right people that are in there. So tell me the line. The media would have us believe that you're in like a coven or something there with people having to shave their head like Trump in order to get a job to be in this. What's the line between having someone faithful, how do you guys say to go with this, versus just the zombies that are going to follow Trump and what you guys have written?
Well, we are creating a database of resumes, not much different than what a lot of big corporations do, and we're trying to vet all of these individuals at a time. And what we're looking for is experience, knowledge, but also people who are proven to be conservatives in their outlook on life. And the whole point, what we did too, is that, look, the policy proposals were put together by more than 400 individuals, and they were people who have previously worked in all of these agencies. And what we're now looking for is a database of personnel that we can hand to a new president so that the new president can look through it and find what we think hopefully will be the best people to put into these departments, individuals who aren't scared of what the editorial pages of the Washington Post and New York Times are going to say for them. In fact, I have to tell you, the editorial pages, those two newspapers, if they approve of what you're doing, that's a way of knowing that what you're doing is wrong.
Let's talk about the deep state part. Here's where Dan, my producer, and I were talking about. Now, as I see the deep state, I guess there could be a couple iterations, but one of them are these people that Congress has punted to and lets them just go wild with setting the rules that we're all living under. Is that a form of the deep state we're trying to rein in?
It is. And you saw during Trump's first term that they actually were one of the first administrations in decades that was actually getting rid of, eliminating more regulations than they were putting out. And that's an important part of this, is getting rid. Look, there are so many totally useless regulations out there. There are so many regulations that go far beyond the authority of government agencies. I mean, one just quick example is, as you know, we have the federal government now saying that they're going to outlaw gas stoves in people's homes. They don't have the power to do that. They don't have the regulatory power to do that. And yet these agencies are going forward with that. That's the kind of thing that needs to be pulled back so those agencies don't interfere and do things like that.
All right, on another more malevolent level, the deep state, does that exist in your view that's more sinister, more plotting, more like a coup from the inside, more driven by allegiance to corporate interest, Obama, something like that?
I will tell you, having worked in two federal agencies before I came to Heritage, that at the Department of Justice, for example, which we have seen weaponized by Merrick Garland, 95% of the career people who work there are radical leftists. And so they do everything they can when a Republican president comes in to thwart everything that he wants to get done. It's the opposite with a Democratic president. They run with everything a Democratic president wants to do and go far beyond that. So that is a real problem in the federal government, which these days is a behemoth with over 2 million federal employees.
Yeah, absolutely. And my producer, Dan, had a question.
Yeah. So please, again, feel free not to answer this question, Hans, because I don't know where it stands. But if there is a deep state, and this deep state is strong enough to involve federal aspects of the government, there's a lot of conspiracy theories asking if this was some kind of inside job, this assassination, that it was, quote, the deep state. With your expertise and knowing about the deep state and what they're capable of, is this something that could potentially be done by them, or do you think that that it would be so sloppily exposed, or where do you stand on the whole situation with the assassination?
Well, look, there's no evidence that was something deliberate. On the other hand, there's plenty of evidence of incompetence of the director of the Secret Service and all kinds of very basic security steps that didn't get taken. And I suspect, unfortunately, that it's a matter of incompetence. I mean, just think about the fact that in an interview, prior interview before all this, what was the main goal of the director of the Secret Service? To make sure that 30% of the Secret Service ranks were women.
30 by 30,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, her number one job is to protect the president and other government officials, and that means hiring the best people, regardless of their race or their gender, and yet that's not what she was focused on. And I suspect once investigation's over, they're going to find that it was that kind of attitude that led to the numerous mistakes that were made in Pennsylvania.
Hans, a couple of other things. You see these, it's like whack-a-mole. They keep on popping them up. That under this project, let's see, overtime. You'd get rid of overtime, and school lunches would be greatly curtailed, or you'd be starving the kids. I don't know where those come from. Wait, so you tell me, what have you heard? Some of them out there. that Project 2025, if executed, would do, and tell us why you think it's ridiculous.
Well, getting rid of overtime, that's a total and complete lie. Now, I will tell you what it does say. You know, in the U.S., under the rules from the Department of Labor, if you work more than 40 hours in a week, you have to be paid overtime by your employer. All that we propose is that they ought to have a little more flexibility in the rules for people who work varied schedules. And what I mean by that is we propose that if you want to work a different kind of schedule for a 2-week period, you ought to be able to do that. Let's say, look, in a 2-week period, normally you would work 80 hours. Well, if you as an employee want to work 60 hours one week and 20 hours the next week, your employer ought to be able to let you do that. But under the current situation, he'd have to pay overtime for you, even though in that 2 weeks, you're not working more than 80 weeks. And we don't see any reason why you shouldn't allow that kind of flexibility. But getting rid of overtime pay, that's a lie. That is a fabrication.
Are you guys going to come up with your top 10 list? Is what I would advise, because it's wild, the stuff that's out there, the top 10 lies that are out there. It would be interesting as a way to rebut this. So on one hand, it's got to feel good that this is getting attention, but the people giving it attention, I don't think are reading it and actually wanting to joust with the policies. So the downside is that people are going to be chilled, as you said, about executing this. Or let's say this, during the election cycle now, President Trump has distanced himself from it. That's without a doubt. He said he's not part of it, nothing to do with it. What's the response of Heritage on that?
Well, he wasn't. Yeah, that's true. He wasn't part of it, but he didn't need to be part of it, because our whole hope was that, like I said, we will hand it to a newly elected president and hope that the president will take it, read it, and say, you know, these are very good ideas. We should put them in place. Look, as for all the attention, hey, this thing is not secret. People should go and look at it themselves, and the more people who are intrigued by this criticism to actually go read it themselves, the better, because I think they'll back and they'll say, hey, this stuff I'm reading, it makes sense. This is the way these government agencies ought to be run.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Where did they go, Hans, to find it?
Project2025.org. Very easy. And by the way, we did put out a list of myths versus facts on Twitter, now X, about all these claims that are being made that are total lies.
We will find that and promote that too. Hans, thank you. Have a nice weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So, again, with this, it stuns me. I don't know, Dan, if I agree with them. They're doing this just to distract. They look, over at Biden-Harris, they're in chaos, but they did see that as a result of the Black Entertainment Awards, I think, maybe, when you see something trending on Twitter that gets more than Taylor Swift, or at this time of the, well, coming up this time of the year, the NFL, and you're in a campaign that has nothing, what are you going to do? Go for it. So can they make Project 2025 this villainous piece to kind of take over? Suddenly they're concerned about civil service, et cetera. What it is about is more garden variety. The people that have allowed to make rules actually make how our lives are lived, and or try to slow down presidents like Trump. And in a second Trump administration, if allowed to, they're going to go wilder because they believe it's Hitler. They believe it's their duty. They believe they'd be celebrated if they're caught trying to stop what Trump wants to do. They run out the clock, and then we're on to another administration. I haven't read every page of this, but I have the plot down of what they're exposing here. And they're trying to develop a master list of people that Trump could count on coming in. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. You can give me your reaction. I still am amazed, though. Taylor Swift, not so much at this point, people Googling that. But the NFL at this period of time, I mean, my God. Hard to believe. For this, you know what it is. The conspiratorial always wins out. That's been the theme this week. This is conspiratorial on the left that's engaged in this. And their side of it, I guess, gone there.
I really think they're trying to turn Heritage into what he was just saying is the
Right.
deep state. Their very own Republican deep state that's controlling the Trump administration and being the Geppetto to Trump's Pinocchio or whatever it is. And that it's infuriating because meanwhile they're completely ignoring the influence that these corporations, ESG ratings, are having on every aspect of life. It's kind of hypocritical.
No, they're doing the right thing here, the way that I see it. That Trump, let's face it, if you really want to change the country, what were the failings of the Trump administration the first time? They didn't get a lot of the wall done. There were other things that didn't get reformed. Why? You can't fly in by the seat of your pants. If you don't have the people in place day one that are going to execute this, what's going to happen? They are going to slow it down. They're going to stop it. They're going to fight it in court. They're going to try to expose anything that you do. That's what the challenge is. You got to meet them head on. They're entrenched. And it's pretty hard to get some of them out with civil service. So what you have to engage in, you have to have your own people ready to go down to the granular level. Now, is that conspiratorial? Is that Geppetto, as Dan said here, controlling Pinocchio? Oh, my God. All right, we'll get your calls on that. But first, it is time for...
It's Dobbs Money Melody.
Money gone.
That is right. Today we're playing for a pair of tickets to tour the Battleship New Jersey in Camden, New Jersey. For more information, visit battleshipnewjersey.org. All right, Dan, what do you have today?
Yeah, so Dom, today we're asking who's cheesy, and this guy, Dom, has made a career of it. He's made so much money being it, but he's also a pretty decent musician when push comes to shove. So Dom, today he's covering a song. We want to know who the cover artist is that's made a living being cheesy, singing Tom Petty's Breakdown. Take a listen.
Something inside you is feeling like I do. Is that all there is to say? Baby, break down. Go ahead and give it to me. Break down, honey, take me through the night. Break down.
So Dom, he comes from the world of music, but he's known for being a cheesy musician here covering a serious song, showing some decent vocal chops. We're looking for the cover artist today, Dom, to win those passes
Tickets
to the Battleship New Jersey.
All right, and it's 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Hit us with that, and you're the winner today. Hey, get ready for a gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right, the season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and a lot more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol problems to low energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. That's the bottom line. Hurry on over and unwrap the joy of a healthier you. You do that at res-q.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRAenhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
We are Nancy and Robert Harding, and we became Crash Proof members in 2018.
It is important to go to a Crash Proof event. I went to the event. He wouldn't go.
I tend to be a little more skeptical.
He's skeptical.
If you're skeptical of the Crash Proof event, I'm probably the best witness you could get. I am convinced now. With the Crash Proof system, the interest gets credited to your account, and then you make interest on that new principal amount. I saw the 12% return. The compounding on that is going to just push our value up that much quicker.
Double-digit interest is possible any year. And he can thank his wife for going to that event. Can't you, honey?
Every good husband knows that that's what he should do. Listen to his wife.
Only Crash-Proof Retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, that's right. Who's covering this song? Let's hear the clue. All right, let's try Zach and Bryn Mawr. Zach on Talk Radio 1210. Zach, good afternoon. Who's covering the song?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm going to say Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes, it sounds vaguely to my ear. That's exactly who it is. Nicely played. Good win, Zach. Here on Talk Radio 1210. Dan, any more on that?
Yeah, Weird Al making a career on being cheesy. Had his movie come out this past year. But this song being performed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, tying it into the RNC. But a great performance of Breakdown, Tom Petty. A little vocal unsound in the verses, but the chorus, man, when he hits that note, it's great. So quite a singer. Weird Al, congratulations. Enjoy the battleship.
All right, 855-839-1210. You got the side question today. Wisconsin, this whole week, cheesy. Someone, something. I said pickup lines. Dan had Kid Rock's performance, at least last night. Melania Trump did not give it a good review. It was amazing, the face that she made. Like, what the hell? I came here to Milwaukee for this. You got to be kidding.
Sounds like a hostage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so Biden's putting out statements today He can't wait to get back to campaigning. Now, hard to tell from afar. Is this just puffery, or is he going to hang in on this? I think they're doing both things. They're trying to hold the Democrat Party ransom. What does it take for him to get out? But I still think in the end, come Monday, next time we're on, he's still going to be in office. I don't think he's going to resign or say he's not going to run on Sunday or anything like that. I still think it's going on. Oh, he's weak with COVID now. Now would be a time you would think it would happen. And Democrats saying wild things like seemingly wild, we'd have mini primaries in the swing states. And then that person somehow or another would be the nominee when we get to the convention. Wow. Talk about in chaos here. And Josh Shapiro would be one of the leaders. Now, several people tell me, good sources, that Shapiro is a very methodical guy. He's not really interested in jumping in this kind of chaotic manner. And I would say that's always a mistake. In other words, when it's there, you got to go for it. Who knows by 2028? Who knows by 2020? The best example I can give you, Christie did not run in 2012. He was going to get ready. He had a 75 to 25 win, something like that in Jersey. Of course, to get that, he did Bridgegate, among other things. And then this phenom called Trump was there. And Christie, who looked big in 2012, didn't look so big in 2016.
So you don't think there's any hesitation on a potential VP's part right now, thinking if we were to get lambasted in a landslide in this upcoming election, my political future goes kaput? And thinking maybe I'll just wait the 4 years. Yeah. Governor Shapiro can continue building his resume and then in 4 years that Biden administration was such a mess, but I had nothing to do with it. I'm the savior of the Democratic Party. Vote for me.
You can kid yourself with that, but I think you can't predict what's going to happen in 4 years. In other words, it's so rare to get the opportunity to jump in there unless it's just disaster. I'm not saying he would jump at the VP. I'm talking about the big slot. If they do this primary thing, he would be in the running around that. I think you take your shot then. And if you come through pretty good because it's chaotic, you have a leg to stand on that you deserve a real shot. I've seen it with too many of these guys. They wait till it's more perfect. And what ends up happening? Somebody like Trump comes along. Who could predict it? That Trump would be coming along and just blow out of the water any other contender. You can't do anything about it. All right, so 855-839-1210, you'll get on board. I'm saying he'll still be there when we come back on Monday. There's even more pressure now, though, that's going on here. As far as the investigation, two things. We're trying to get with Brian Cutler. He is the Republican leader in Harrisburg. You haven't heard about this one, but we're on it. He's calling for a select committee, 3 Democrats, I guess he'd be on it, 3 Republicans. And what they're trying to do is to get to the bottom of the shooting, the Pennsylvania part, with local and state police and who did what. Democrats, I think, are going to try to block it, which politically, you got to ask, why? Why would we not want to get to the bottom of this, to kind of tamp down, to get to the truth as best as we can ascertain? The head of the Secret Service is going to testify on Monday. Now, that is going to be riveting stuff. I'm not sure. I guess that's not the task force. Dan, do we know? I didn't see the news report. If you know, tell me, because I don't know if Andrew's on that or who's on that. Is going to testify before some committee on Monday. Then there is the task force that will be announced on Monday to get to the bottom of this. But the FBI, as the investigators on this, they're both inefficient and not trustworthy. Well, who else would you have investigated? Josh Hawley reporting, Senator Hawley, he has whistleblowers that talked about the fact they had few, if any, Secret Service there. They were mainly from Homeland Security. There were only 7 local cops, was one news report today, that were there. It seems to me that this was just disaster waiting to happen. Who would think this kid's going to be able to get in there or try to get in there, more likely with all this going on? But again, Democrats are going to be on the defensive. And this is where they're going to get punished by the American people for this, I believe. How in the world would they not be as vocal at trying to get to the bottom of this to dispel the notion, unless they think they can make Republicans look bad by having Republicans say, you know what? We think you intentionally did this in order to let someone take a shot at Trump. Are they trying to draw? Republicans don't have to engage in that. Two things they can do. One, they can say what J.D. Vance sort of said. Yeah, when you're calling someone Hitler constantly and saying if he gets in, he's going to be Hitler, the country's over. That is provoking somebody out there to react and say, I got to stop Hitler. But more importantly, there's documents on this. There's a bottom line of who was in charge up and down the line, point by point by point of what happened here. I'm not even saying to fix it in the future. I don't trust this organization at all. The Secret Service. They have had trouble the last 10 or 15 years. But there's apparently this 30 for 30 program, which is 30% females in several organizations by 2030. Yeah, you know, something like, I don't know, pick the most out of our lives organization. That's one thing. You're talking about life and death here. This is in a month of staggering things. This is the most, to me, amazing thing. The more that you look at it, that this could happen in this manner, and that the outcome is that Trump turned his head at the right time. Can't find anything more amazing than that. A bigger incompetency than that. And I don't automatically leap toward, it must be conspiratorial geniuses. No, I automatically look at government of any sort and say my first instinct is they could be royal screw-ups here. They could do anything that's incompetent. And they did. Monday, we'll have a lot to talk about to see exactly the testimony and see what Democrats do to try to run out the clock. All right, phone lines, though, to get in are 855-839-1210. As I said, the Pennsylvania thing, Cutler's traveling. It's okay. We'll get him on next week. I'm glad Pennsylvania's calling for this, too. Josh Shapiro should have called for it. Why didn't he call for it? Well, you know, Democrats are going to try to protect this. In what way, shape, or form? How would you try to hide this? The more you do that, the more you're provoking everything in the world to come out of the woodwork. 855-839-1210. Grab a line now on Talk Radio 1210.
A comfortable air mass is in place as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today, warm but not humid, high 87. Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable, low near 70. And Saturday, partly sunny, a little bit more humid. Could be a shower in some spots in the afternoon with a high 85.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We're halfway through July. Have you been putting off that family vacation because the economy's tough? Well, don't forgo the summer vacation. It's important to make family memories, and it's not too late. The Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey makes getting away affordable and possible. The Grand offers you all the conveniences of a shore home with all the amenities of a full-service resort. For example, you can visit Hemingway's restaurant that's on site, and they serve the most incredible food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you want to just make the kids a PB&J sandwich, the Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette where you can just make the kids a sandwich. The Grand also has 2 huge heated pools, one outdoor and one indoor. You know, my kids love their pool, and they have an arcade, so if it rains, the kids still have something to do. I'm telling you, the Grand is my happy place for a reason. Book today, you won't be disappointed, and always book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay by calling 800-257-8550 or grandhotelcapemay.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home. all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Inflation fears started in 2021. The warning signs were everywhere. But Senator Bob Casey ignored the warnings and sided with the liberals in Washington, voting for trillions in reckless, wasteful spending. And all that reckless spending made inflation worse, driving up prices on almost everything you buy. Now, Pennsylvania families are paying the price for Senator Casey's reckless spending. Our state's been hit the hardest by higher prices. With Senator Casey's reckless spending, grocery prices are up 25%. Rent, it's up 21%, and electricity's up 29%. Senator Casey helped create this mess, and now Pennsylvania families are struggling to make ends meet. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, and fight against inflationary government spending. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Bring on the summer heat with huge savings when you replace your old inefficient windows and doors with the great people at Guida Door and Window. Right now, Guida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. Have drafty windows you've been meaning to replace? Well, you receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. In need of new doors? Well, Guida's got you covered there as well, with 40% off all high-quality entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money out of pocket and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. Don't let these incredible savings pass you by. Go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these limited time savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires July 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Tom Giordano Show. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So Democrats dismissing this idea, Brian Cutler, saying, oh, we already have the FBI. How can you do better than that? They'll be comprehensive. I think what he's thinking of here is that the swamp, particularly in this case, Secret Service, let's face it, they want to portray these cops as local yokels. What the hell are they thinking of? This guy's climbing on the roof. People are telling them that, and they're in the building. They want to put the blame off on the local cop state police as not knowing what they're doing. And we all know the bottom line is that this is the role of the Secret Service. That's their one main function to deal with this. 855-839-1210. So I support the idea. It doesn't hurt. They could take a look at it from the perspective of local law enforcement, state police, and who knew what and where they were going in the beginning. But there's a lot of paperwork on this stuff. And come Monday, it's going to be interesting to see local police now, it's coming out, warn them that it lacked manpower. I think they had 7 cops in toto for this whole thing. That was it, to cover all that, the crowd, etc. And a lot of them were Homeland Security that were put in here. I don't know why it had to wait till Monday. I know the convention and everything else, but this just cannot go on. The allegations, the sheer incompetency of this. Trump is out there tomorrow in Michigan with J.D. Vance. Now, at least at the convention, they finally wised up. You saw the people that they had out there protecting the president. These were big linebacker-like guys. That's one part. But this is one of the most shocking things imaginable. It really is. All they had to do, Sean Parnell, we had on. Why didn't they block it with equipment and other things they had there? Too much trouble? Come on. All right, Leslie in Bryn Mawr is next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Leslie, welcome in.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Did you happen to watch MSNBC's after coverage of the speech?
No, I was too busy adjusting my own green screen. Yeah, I didn't see it.
How about that? They're too chicken to even go.
It's stunning. Yeah.
That's how I look at them using the green screen. They know if they went there, they'd be confronted by a lot of people saying, fake news. But their quote-unquote, air quote, historian, Michael Beschloss.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. They go to him, and they ask for his critique of the speech. And he's like, well, he didn't even talk about, first of all, he lied. Didn't even talk about being a dictator. And I thought, he didn't talk about being a dictator. Why would he talk about being a dictator? You're the guys that are saying he's going to be a dictator. And then he goes on to say, and not like, so he's not telling us what he's going to do. And he never even brought up Project 25. And it's like, again, you guys are the ones pushing Project 25. That is not Trump's agenda.
Yeah, I think Trump's agenda is the part of it that's there. It's to get in. He realizes now too much flying by the seat of your pants. These guys are good at delaying and countermanding everything that you want to do. That's the flaw that Trump has. Let's face it. I mean, he's got everything else, but that's not so good. And you need people to do that. This is a blueprint to do it. That's all that it is.
What, Project 25?
2025, the project, Leslie. Look, there are other policy recommendations, but basically it's taking you inside the infrastructure. How do you stop people in departments from slowing everything down, leaking stuff, and just using the bureaucracy to outmaneuver you? I mean, look, Trump it was a failure on the wall because he didn't have the wherewithal to realize you had to put your people in place. You had to fight hard from the first day to overcome all this stuff, and they run out the clock. They're good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Project 2025 has some great things in it.
Yeah.
But it isn't Trump's platform.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think he intends to probably take a very hard look at that and use some of what is in there. But it is not his platform. And the way they just keep trying to tie him to it and repeating it over and over, it's just, it just becomes annoying.
It is amazing to me, and I don't know what research they've done other than they did see, Leslie, I got to say, they did see when people Google it last week, it's more than Swift and it's more than the NFL. Let's face it, if I were on the other side and I got nothing other than abortion, that's what I'm going to run with. And yeah.
Well, and that's the Republican flaw, too, is we keep letting them write the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. So, Leslie, what's cheesy?
So, years ago, my first Trump rally, I'm standing in line, and I see this guy in a suit that looks like a brick wall. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this guy that's a cheese ball. Like, here he's got this suit on, and he's now become very famous. He's at every convention, and he's at every rally, and he has been on stage with Trump.
Oh, God.
But who has? That's pretty cheesy to go out and make yourself a brick suit.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. That's
I feel like Trump does a good job embracing the cheesiness himself. I said Weird Al has made a career on it.
Yes.
You think of like the dance that Trump does, and then they had the pastor come out and mock the dance, and he laughs when he gets the impressions. I think he kind of
the
likes
dance is that thing. Bill Maher said something else about it. You can Google it. You'll see. Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad, but yeah. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. So they're tapping into, everybody seems to love conspiracies, and I seem to be the one coming along like balloons poking them down, and the left does too. So Project 2025, this malevolent conspiracy, the deep state. What it does is really limit the power of the executive branch by taking away all these people who for years have been running our lives. Congress, what do they get out of it? Well, they give up their power, but then they say, I didn't do that. I don't know anything about that. That's some rule. You're supposed to rein these people in. You're supposed to direct them by law. All right, lightning round next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Join Team Kale and Company once again this year for the Bend to Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. From Philly to Atlantic City, you can do the ride or just donate to support the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. That's shore.org. Let's show everyone how WPHT and Odyssey supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. FBBCF provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth. Sponsored by Gelman Law. Need a criminal defense attorney or personal injury? Visit GelmanLawFirm.com.
Living with Lyme, a condition that you may have and not even know it. John DeMasi here, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Yes, you may be living with Lyme, even if you've had some kind of treatment. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have dealt with this condition and have helped hundreds over the years live successfully with Lyme, mainly through the use of medical hydration. They've been able to reduce many of the symptoms associated with Lyme and allow their patients a better quality of life.
I want to get you through your initial challenge, working alongside with my physicians, and then get you to a place where we are looking at maintaining your immune system, maintaining your quality of life.
If you suspect you or someone you know has Lyme disease, visit innovativemedicalassociates.com on the web to schedule a free initial consultation or call 856-489-0505.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but at First Harvest Credit Union, we can help you grow your financial future with our growth savings account. You can earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth savings account and watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply, insured by NCUA.
There's nothing quite like local. Local is your weekly farmer's market or homemade strawberry ice cream. It's live music on the corner, yoga in the park, and a chance to try something new. That's why AARP is local, right here in our community, offering free events and enriching experiences that can help with finances, family, and fun. Join AARP Philadelphia on July 25th for a virtual tour of the Renoir and Women exhibit at the Barnes Foundation. Learn more at aarp.org/local.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, convention in Wisconsin. Cheesy, someone, something like pickup lines. That's what we're looking for here with Dom to get a winner today. Oh, boy, we got about a minute here before we have to declare a winner today. Let's go to Earl and Tacony. All right, Earl, what's yours?
Mine is going to be cheesy lounge singers, like Bill Murray in the original Saturday Night Live, where he did Star Wars, the theme from Star Wars. But a man who made a career out of it is so cheesy, he even goes by the name Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine. He has 30 albums doing lounge music, popular tune.
Thank you.
Music is pretty boring.
That is good. That's up there with the porn mustache at this point. Drew in Upper Darby. Drew, what's yours?
Hey, Tom, thanks, man. You know what, Tom? Throughout the 60s, this actor was considered probably one of the cheesiest actors there were, from a couple shows, the Andy Griffith Show, Gomer Pyle. However, every year at the Indianapolis 500, he would sing the national anthem in that baritone deep voice. That's Jim Nabors.
That's a good one here. Dan, I see two contenders because we have to wrap it up and get the winner of the entire week.
Yep.
I see Leslie's maybe, and Earl's
Really?
is good too. Yeah,
I think the 70s porn.
The 70s porn is where I was.
Sorry,
going
did I just step on you there?
Yeah, that's okay.
I think I
That's
did.
right. Yeah, Robert and Ben Salem.
So, Dom, let's throw them all into the hat. Monday. We asked for a moment in history you vividly remember exactly where you are watching it play out. Gary called in with 9/11. He was right outside the Pentagon coming out of a train stop when he saw this plumes of smoke. Tuesday, a notable decision or selection. Bill and Bucks won with Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. Wednesday, what should Trump use for his walk-up music if not God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood? Joe and Exton called with Fly Me to the Moon with a great story behind it. Thursday, Rags to Riches story. Robert and Ben Salem. George Washington Carver and Robert just won 2 days in a row with the 70s porn mustache, Dom, for something that's cheesy. Let's throw it all into the hat. Got a number 4 for Rags to Riches Thursday. Robert and Ben Salem with his 2 shots does win the Battleship New Jersey passes, Dom.
All right, everyone have a great weekend after this. And don't forget, get your group together. We are going to have the event for the ages given this election with Don Trump Jr. That's right, Don, not Donald. Don Trump Jr., July 30th. It seems long ago, end of the month, but you got to get in there now. Get your tickets. Go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. Thanks, Dan and Jim, for a wonderful week, an exciting week. And we'll see Monday, conspiracy or incompetency. That's on the bill. Rich Cioli Show next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term